Meeting to order. Who was the next speaker? I was. Poor thing. So, next on the agenda is review and consideration of the minutes for the organizational meeting. You should have them in your packets. If not, there's copies by Phil. Do you have the minutes? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Andy, you second?
Sure.
Oh, that's right. Lynn's here. I don't need to take those ones. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, review the public record, planning documents, planning and zoning commission resolutions, adopting the project plan creations and amendment, and resolutions passed by the village board approving the creations and amendment.
I'll take that if you want.
Figured you'd take the rest now.
I'll try to keep it brief. Everybody has a copy of the project plans. They've been amended, really to reflect some changes that were at the request of Allegheny County. So we have incorporated those. We'll touch on those briefly. After the organizational meeting, February 14th, we had a public hearing at Plan Commission, and we had a few members of the public here, which is always nice to see. I think it had a lot to do with the downtown kid, and I know Diane went kind of building to building, property to property down there to make sure people were aware of what was coming and why we were going through this process. I think the only comment I can recall from the public hearing that had any significance was there was questions why properties weren't included in the boundaries, and it has to do with this kind of 12% test issue where you can only have so much value in the kit. So with that answer, I think they were satisfied. And I don't recall if anybody else recalls the public hearing, any other comments.
The only other one, it was at village board, and it was asking if the revolving loan fund would be available to properties within, like the Act 57, so
right.
within a half mile rather than just within the boundaries of the TID. So that was involving the revolving loan fund for the downtown district.
Okay. So with that, we had approval, unanimous approval at both Planning Commission and then Village Board. We had unanimous approval. There were a lot of people here at Village Board, I understand, but not so much for the tips, for other reasons. So I think maybe the board was kind of lost in everything else happening that night. So that brings us back to this. Maybe I'll one step in between. We did meet with Allegheny County at the Finance Committee meeting, and spent quite a bit of time there talking through the plans. There was a couple of changes. I think Diane handed out. Does everybody have a copy of the letter? This does a nice job, this memo summarizing. It went to Brian's, and then also to the finance, to Allegheny County. The changes, really, there were no changes to tax increment district number 4. If you recall, 4 is for the kind of the workforce housing project that's being proposed, and it's, there's an incentive, pay-as-you-go type incentive that's available to assist that project, and it could also help pay for some public improvements. But the changes really were to TIDs 5 and 3. For 5 on the list, what they had asked and what they are attempting in Allegheny County to do is to be consistent with how they treat each municipality and the projects that they will that they think should be allowed within tax increment districts, and projects that they feel really should be levied projects. And one of those is parks and trails. So we removed any language regarding parks and trails from TID number 5 downtown. That was about $140,000 line item, and we increased the revolving loan fund. And you can see in this memo, Diane had done some analysis on the number of parcels, and possibility of participation rate, and the estimated loan amount to justify the increase the revolving loan fund to $180,000. So those changes were incorporated into the plan that was sent out to you to satisfy the desires at Allegheny County. And then in TID number 3, we did amend that as well. We modified the language in regards to parks and trails, and this be trails, multimodal trail to assist along Highway 15. A lot of it has to do with safety concerns coming to the school, snowmobilers and such, and so some concern over safety. And there, I think understood that concern and agreed to allow the village to keep those costs in. What they didn't want in was the, any type of incentive for any kind of single family or duplex type development. Again, to be consistent with how we're treating other tax increment districts around the county. So we did pull, language and actually inserted language into TID number 3 that eliminated the ability to use, incentive money for, single family or duplex type, developments. So those are the two changes, in TID number 3. Diane, anything else you can recall?
Can you explain that to me, why they wouldn't want single or duplex? I guess I don't, and this isn't my world, so maybe you already have it, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna speculate, if you, and Brian, if you wanna add to it. I'll speculate, and I hear this elsewhere around the state. You know, once you start offering incentives to single family and or like duplex type development, what you end up, in many cases is, you end up, that developer will have the advantage and a competitive advantage being in the TIF and offering incentives versus maybe somebody else who's developing a subdivision outside of TIF, and they don't have that, they don't have the same ability to maybe drop the price of lots and those type of things.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason. I think the other is, I think it's similar in other counties around the state, Waukesha County, Walworth County, we see it in Dane County. There's a few counties that just feel single family should be able to stand on its own. And the level of services needed to support single family, it shouldn't be within a TIF. You should have that as your overall tax base. So I don't know, Brian, if you want to add anything to this.
I think that's generally it, and hopefully TIFs are more designed bringing business as well as, you know, if you have multi-apartments, sometimes you need the living arrangements for the businesses that grow. So that would be generally fine, but not single.
Thank you.
So those are the comments I have. I'm more than happy to go through the project plans, but nothing else has changed. The only other change in the project plan is we do have, the village attorney's letter, is included. They're required to review the agreement, or review the plans to make sure that all the items listed in the statutes are incorporated into the project plan, and those have been provided and included in the final plan as well.
Do you guys have the, resolutions in your packets? Okay, then we'll pass these out.
Any questions on any of the plans?
Okay, then the next item is consideration of resolution approving tax incremental district number 4 creation.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion by Heidi, second by Brian. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And I have signatures that I'll need from everybody.
And there's, Joe has them right over here.
I'm already.
Oh, okay. Then agenda item number 5 is consideration of resolution approving tax incremental district number 5 creation. Motion by Andy.
I'll second it, so everybody gets to participate.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consideration of resolution approving tax incremental district number 3's amendment. I'll make a motion so I can participate.
I'll second.
Second by Andy, right? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Well, one last comment from me, you don't have the luxury to disband anymore. A lot of these are, well, they're now really staying in committees, in part because of the new DOR requirement for an annual update. So, just an adjournment.
Just comment, I want to thank the village for working with the county on the implementing changes, so that's, definitely appreciate that, so thank you.
Glad it went through.
Diane, you had mentioned that the county and everyone else was good to work with.
Absolutely, yes, yes.
Very cooperative and
Yeah, it was nice that the we had, the county had concerns and the dialogue was going back and forth, so it was, and I know, I forwarded all that information to you guys as well, so it was this is my first rodeo for TIS, and it was relatively painless, and I thank Phil for that as well, so.
Is he gonna pass those around?
I know.
Yep, so, did we have a motion to adjourn? Did we already do that?
Oh,
No, they didn't actually.
Okay.
they didn't.
And he was thinking about it, but we never actually got it.
Okay, motion by Andy, second by Heidi, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion